Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I welcome you all at the platform of Learning Zone. Our detailed lectures are present and uploaded on YouTube. Uh, the topic of our Dawn editorial is Bulldozed, published in Dawn on 22nd July 2023. Students, what's actually the meaning of this bulldozed? Bulldozed means demolish, knock down, or the tear down. So let's read. If there is one trait that seems common to almost all Pakistani lawmakers, regardless of their political affiliation, it is barely concealed disdain for parliament and legislative procedure. This is actually the complete sentence. Now, I highlighted only this disdain for parliament and legislative procedure. Why? Because this is actually the trait which is mentioning in the beginning. If there is one trait, which is that trait, it is barely concealed disdain for the parliament and the legislative procedure. So, if there is one trait that seems common to almost all Pakistani lawmakers, regardless of their political affiliation, what is that? It is barely concealed disdain for parliament and legislative procedure. What does this disdain mean? It means that is considered to be unworthy of one's considerations, means hakarat se dekhna, right? Not giving due importance. Where once they derided the PTI government for running an ordnance factory instead of executing its legislative business through parliament, right? Political party has a major role in the parliament, not outside the parliament, right? So business with the parliament, the ruling parties, those who are in government have done little better since assuming power, having finally reduced the National Assembly to be rubber stamped for their legislative agenda. Now, again, this is a sporting detail. On Thursday, the first day of the 15th National Assembly's farewell session, the House allowed critical legislation without required number of lawmakers present for proceedings, with Speaker Raja Parvez Ashraf binding House procedure to allow the draft of two laws to be drastically amended and then having the amendments passed by a voice vote before they were even tabled. Right? According to reports, he gave Aviation Minister Saad Rafiq the floor to introduce extensive amendments, including 100 new clauses in the Pakistan Airport Authority Bill 2022. This is again very much important, and Pakistan Civil Aviation Bill 2022. So see, there are 100 new clauses, right, with less than 2 dozen members present. This is again very important. Both bills have been moved a year ago and were approved by the relevant committee in their original form. The privilege to amend or introduce rules and laws is not a prerogative that can be exercised without check and balance. You cannot do anything with your wish, right? There are some rules and regulations. So, writer again raises a question: what was so important about the amendments that they could not be put to debate and discussion before the elected representative of the people as is required? This was the question raised by the writer, means editor. Had the government been sleeping for the last few months that it finally realized it had necessary business to conduct at the 11th hour? And what does it say about our lawmakers that less than 2 dozens deemed domains do something that once considered to be beneath one's dignity, right? To attend the session, which, as is now usual, started hours later than its scheduled time, despite there being much legislative work still pending before the National Assembly. So this is very important concern that is raised by the editor. Furthermore, it is unfortunate that the government appears to have disregarded all criticism of the manner in which it has gone about making and changing laws over the last 15 months. Coming to the concluding sentence, concluding means a paragraph including these sentences. Despite there being no meaningful opposition in the National Assembly to obstruct its effort and some weeks remaining till the end of the tenure, it still opted to pass legislation without having it debated or endorsed by public representatives. Right? This is important. And no meaningful opposition. This is again a major concern in the National Assembly now, right? Despite there being no meaningful opposition in the National Assembly to obstruct its effort and some weeks remaining till the end of tenure, it still opted to pass legislation without having it debated or endorsed by the public representatives. What else can this be described as if not contempt of parliament? This, the parliament has some respect, some contempt. So, what else can this be described as if not contempt of parliament? Thank you very much, students. We will see you in the next editorial. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.